You're 2 weeks old when your father walks out. You don't know this yet, but abandonment will be the theme of your entire life. Your mother ships you off to your great-grandmother in Georgia because she can't afford to keep you. At 8 years old, you're sent north to live in Manhasset, New York. You don't understand why you keep getting moved around like a chess piece. You just know that every time you start to feel settled, someone decides you belong somewhere else. You show up for high school in 1951 and immediately start breaking reality. You average 38 points per game in basketball, 14.9 yards per carry in football. You throw 2 no-hitters in baseball. You dominate lacrosse so completely that they start whispering about changing the rules. You earn 13 letters across 5 sports. 13! Most kids are lucky to letter in one sport. You're collecting them like trading cards. But here's where being a living legend sucks. It's 1953, and college recruiters don't want athletes that look like you. You're the best high school athlete in the state's history, and schools are pretending you don't exist. The university doesn't want you either. A lacrosse booster has to force them to take you. You show up without a scholarship, the only player on the freshman football team, carrying the weight of proving you belong on the field. You get to college and decide to destroy everything in 4 different sports. You letter in football, lacrosse, basketball, and track. You're voted the school's Athlete of the Year in 1957. In one game, you run for 197 yards, score 6 touchdowns, and kick 7 extra points for 43 total points. That's a record that stands for over 40 years. In lacrosse, you're so dominant they literally change the rules to stop you. You lead your team to a perfect 10-0 lacrosse season. You finish 2nd in the nation in lacrosse scoring as a senior. You're a unanimous All-American in football. You finish 5th in the Heisman Trophy voting despite averaging 6.2 yards per carry and scoring 43 points in a single game. 5th for being the most dominant college athlete in American history. Why? Because it's 1956, and voters can't stomach giving the ultimate football award to someone who looks like you. The Cleveland Browns draft you 6th overall in 1957. You win Rookie of the Year and MVP in your first season, the first player ever to win both awards. You never miss a game in 9 years. You lead the league in rushing 8 out of 9 seasons. But here's where being born 50 years too early really starts to destroy your potential. You're playing football in the Stone Age. No modern training. While today's players have personal trainers, nutritionists, and sports scientists, you're lifting weights in your garage and eating whatever the hotel serves on road trips. You're maintaining a 232-pound frame on 1960s nutrition and calling it peak performance. No sports medicine. You play through separated shoulders, broken ribs, and concussions that would sideline players for months today. The team doctor's medical advice is walk it off and rub some dirt on it. You're taking punishment that would hospitalize modern players, and the treatment is aspirin and ice.
Primitive offensive schemes. The team playbook looks like a middle school offense. You're getting 20-25 carries per game straight up the middle because coaches don't understand how to use a weapon like you. Modern offensive coordinators would design entire systems around your abilities. In 1960, they hand you the ball and hope for the best. No protection from officials. Defenders can hit you however they want, wherever they want. Late hits, targeting, cheap shots, all legal. You're absorbing violence that would get players ejected and suspended today. And it's just called football. You're 30 years old and still the most dominant player in football. You just won your 3rd MVP award. You're averaging 104.3 yards per game for your career, a record that still stands today. And then you walk away. Not because you're hurt, not because you're declining, because you're filming in London and the team owner threatens to fine you $1,500 for every week of training camp you miss. You call from the movie set and tell them you're retiring. Just like that. The greatest running back ever is done at 30 years old when you have 5 elite years left in the tank.
In today's NFL, this would never happen. Players have guaranteed contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Teams build entire schedules around their stars. The league would move training camp before they'd lose someone like you over a scheduling conflict. But in 1966, you're just another employee who can be replaced. So you choose Hollywood over football, leaving behind a career that could have redefined greatness. You spend the next 30 years acting in 43 movies and countless TV shows. You become Hollywood's first black action hero. You break racial barriers. But every year you spend on movie sets is a year you could have been rewriting NFL record books. Your acting career proves you made the right choice for 1966. Hollywood paid you better than football and treated you with more respect. You escaped a league that saw you as disposable before your body completely broke down. But the cost was your football legacy. Instead of playing until 38, you retired at 30. Instead of 20,000 rushing yards, you finished with 12,312. Instead of 200 touchdowns, you scored 126. If you played today, you'd be the greatest player ever, period. At 6'2", 232 pounds with 9.7 speed in the 100-yard dash, you're a genetic freak. Add modern strength training, nutrition, and recovery methods, and you become Superman in shoulder pads. You retired at 30 because your body was breaking down from primitive methods and no injury prevention. With today's medical advances, you play until 38, easily. Modern offensive creativity would have broken every record. You were never tackled or a loss, getting 20 handoffs up the middle. Imagine you in Andy Reid's offense, or with Sean McVay designing plays specifically for your skill set. You'd average 150 yards per game and 2,000 yards per season. Financial security would have kept you playing. You retired because Hollywood offered better money and intellectual stimulation. Today's NFL would pay you $50 million per year and give you ownership stakes. You never leave football. You're 87 years old when you die in 2023, still holding records that were set in the 1960s, still the only player to average over 100 rushing yards per game for an entire career, still the standard by which every running back is measured. They won't build you a statue right away. They won't name streets after you. Not yet. You'll be left off lists, ignored in conversations, your records minimized by people who never lace them up. Years pass. The world starts to catch up. Not all the way, but enough. They start whispering your name again, with reverence, with awe, like they knew all along. They'll say you are ahead of your time, as if that's a compliment. It's not. It's a sentence. You think being ahead of your time is some kind of blessing? It's not. It's lonely. It means being hated while you're here and honored when you're gone. You were the greatest running back who ever lived, and you were 50 years too early. You dominated despite impossible disadvantages, playing in an era that barely tolerated your presence. Your legacy is the greatest what-if in sports history. You say you want to be a legend? Cool. But legends don't get statues right away. They get scars. They get silence. They get forgotten until the world catches up. So don't say you were born ahead of your time unless you're ready to walk through fire alone. The ones who change the game rarely get to enjoy it. But damn, if you get it right, you just might become the reason the game was worth playing in the first place.